Hey guys, what's up? It's Jim Chandler with Rock Your Best Vocals. Because it's cold and flu season and it's COVID season as well, I decided to do a little bit of a rundown for you in terms of prevention, what to do if you have to sing if you're sick, and ways to kind of use something for recovery after you sing, and then also to prevent and or recover just in case you test positive for COVID. So all of this in here is not being dispensed as medical device. I'm not a medical doctor, blah, blah, blah. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Terms and conditions apply. Let's get started. If you're new to the channel, please hit like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And also down below, I have a link there to a free course. It's a 4-week vocal course, which gives you all the basics. So if you're just starting out singing, in there I lay out the 4 basics that you really need to kind of start strengthening your voice and getting a really powerful rock voice. Let's get to the tips. Okay, so I'm just gonna run down through some of the things, actually all of the things that I use as a vegan powerhouse rock singer. Okay, so first off, you always must stay hydrated. Before a gig, I like to drink green matcha tea. Green tea is very cleansing for the body. It's also kind of gives you a little bit of a pep. There's caffeine in the green tea, and it's also good for the mind as well. So it keeps you on the ball if you have to kind of make comments and stuff during the gig. It keeps you sharp, you know, it keeps you thinking about remembering the lyrics, all that stuff. Green tea, that's just what I like, you know, that's my own thing. So the next thing is, during the gig, I like to drink water, and I drink one of these, okay? Probably a whole one of these during the gig. I don't like pints of water on stage because I, for one, like to move around, to jump around and run around, blah, 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 whatever. And a pint is going to get kicked over. If you put a pint anywhere near me, it's going to get kicked over. There's going to be water all over the stage. And if it's a wooden stage, you know, slick wooden stage, somebody's going to slip and break their neck. So no pints on stage. This has a lid. You know, you could take the lid off, take a drink, put the lid back on. Like, just no pints on stage, please. Don't do it. Like, don't. I'm gonna kick it over. And the next thing I like to do, I am always chewing a piece of gum. This is the gum I like. It's extra, and it's a peppermint. It's the blue one. Now I drink other gums. This is like my preference one. I also like the green one, and also like if I have a bit of nasal congestion, I can't even say. If I have nasal congestion, I will choose the airwaves. I'll chew the airwaves. Man, I can't speak today. Maybe I need a piece of gum. I'll chew what's called the airwaves version, I think, of extra. I'm not sure actually, but it has like eucalyptus and stuff like that that'll, you know, kind of clear any nasal congestion. So if you have that nasal congestion, you could do that. Also, if I have nasal congestion like before the gig, which I've always had trouble with my sinuses today, man. I've always had trouble with my sinuses before becoming vegan and ditching dairy. And since I don't take any more dairy products, my nasal passage is like almost always clear. In fact, sometimes too clear. But if I ever get a cold, I spray some Saline Spray, which is what this is. There's a nice fine mist of spray. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but probably, maybe you can see that. I can see that. Anyway, so just, oh man, you have to make sure you stop spraying before you take it out and squirt yourself in the eye. And then up the other nose, up the other nasal, jeez, it's all over me. That really clears any congestion quickly. I used to take some of these other sprays, like they have like a Sudafed nasal spray, other kind of nasal sprays, is I started to get addicted to those. I found myself relying on it, doing it before every gig. Even if I wasn't sick, I felt like I had to do it, and then I would do it, and then what happens is you start to, it becomes inflamed, you know, your nasal passage, and then it's like you have to use it or your nose is clogged. So when I switched over to the saline spray, I can use it like every night before a gig or whatever, or even during the gig if you have to, if you're really congested, and it clears everything out, and you don't have that, like, it doesn't have that after effect where like you need to use it in order to actually breathe. I would recommend like maybe 15 minutes before a gig if you're going to use this, because what happens is it starts to drip out. So you want to kind of like, instead of just going on stage, you know, and snotting all over everything, you know, make sure that whatever, if it's going to drip out, it drips out before you start the gig. These always go with me. That and the water bottle always go with me. Always have green tea before a gig. These are just my rituals, my things. You may have different things, but this is just what I found works. Always have some antibacterial gel, some hand gel, especially during these times with COVID. I'm not out doing gigs, but I've just always been addicted to like antibacterial hand gel. I don't know why. I just like a bit of a, you know, I just like touching things, and then, you know, you just like, what the hell am I touching? You know, you're like, being a singer, you're always shaking hands with people. You're always like kind of, I don't know, you're always touching equipment and things like that, and, you know, touching whatever, you know. Like, I really like to just keep my hands clean. So, you know, if you come shake hands with me, my hands are going to be clean. So have no fear. Those are my kind of main things that I use before a gig and during a gig, just to keep hydrated. Water keeps you hydrated. The gum also keeps you hydrated because you're kind of like producing saliva, and that just keeps your throat passage, you know, hydrated and liquefied, and kind of just keeps it visceral and running smooth. Keeps everything really running quite nice. But if you're dried out in that region, it's going to take its toll on your voice. If you can't breathe through your nose, you're going to be breathing a lot through your mouth, and that's also going to dry out your vocal cords. So that's why I say always, it's very important that you have that nasal passage clear. If you do have to sing when you're sick, you can do it. It's what I've had to do is, before a gig, I've taken this is Sudafed hydrochloride, which is, the brand name is Sudafed. Pseudoephedrine hydrochloride. It's a bronchial dilator, so it dilates the bronchial tubes so you can breathe a little bit better in your chest. And also it will dry up your nasal passage. Having said that, it also dries up your kind of vocal cord region. So that's where the water and the gum will help to keep you liquefied there. But that will, just as a note, if you have to take it so you can breathe, it's great, like, to help with even the saline spray so you can actually breathe during the gig, but it will dry out your vocal cords, just a note. Steaming is really good if you don't like to take pseudoephedrine hydrochloride. If you want to steam, I like to put a bit of this, which is called albus oil. What that is, if you haven't heard of that, it's kind of like eucalyptus. I think it does have eucalyptus. I can't read it right now, but I don't know. I can't read it. Probably should have read that before, but anyway. It does get that, it has that sense of like just really, it's real powerful though. So you put like a couple of drops in a big like kind of pot of water, put a towel over your head, let the steam come through. Or you can be real fancy, you can go get one of those steamer, the Darth Vader things. So I'm kind of like, I don't really have that much of a problem with it unless I have a cold, and I usually just like to drug up with the decongestant tablets beforehand. If you are sick, also, like for me, I like to really kind of get into the vitamins and stuff like that, and kind of get your cure together really quickly so you can recover, so you're not sick longer. With that, I take echinacea. I always thought this was kind of like, oh yeah, it's one of these kind of weird herbal things, probably doesn't work. But man, I'm telling you, if you do get sick and you take echinacea a few times a day, you just put it in like a little bit of a glass of water about this big, like either 10 to 20 drops in a little glass of water a few times a day, and man, this has really worked for me a lot. So echinacea, it does work. Another thing is vitamin C. I like to take these effervescent tablets. Yeah, because you can put them in water and it tastes good, so you don't have to drink just plain water. I don't know. I'm like, that's just me. I like the way it bubbles up and stuff. But anyway, being vegan, I like to take supplements, although I do eat very healthy, but I do like to take supplements as well, just to stay on top of that. If you are vegan or you're thinking about becoming vegan, you have to have B12 in your diet. This is a whole section on vegan, but maybe you're not vegan. I don't know. But anyway, this is a B12. I'm not sponsored by any of these. I think this is Solgar, but you just take like a little bit and plonk it under your tongue, which is called sublingual. I think it says that on there. But it just soaks in. It tastes good too, but so you can't get that if you're a vegan. You have to take a supplement of B12 or drink dirty water, which I'd rather not. So that's all my kind of vitamins and stuff like that. If you're sick, you can sing if you're sick. You can do it, but you just have to breathe through your nose. That's the main thing. And you have to be energized and hydrated. One thing that you really should be aware of, coughing is very damaging to the vocal cords. So the second I get a twinge of a cough, I'm on top of the cough, taking this here, which is Benylin, for chesty coughs. The active ingredients in here are guaifenesin, 100 milligrams, and levomenthol. So those are the two active ingredients in this one. Anyway, I found this one very good for me. You might like a different one or whatevs. It doesn't matter, as long as you're not coughing. Whatever you do, don't cough, because that will dry out your vocal cords. Yeah, don't cough. If you do have a rough gig, you need to recover your voice because your throat's a bit sore. I really like this. It's Yogi Tea Throat Comfort. Otherwise, if you have a sore throat, or like if you get like laryngitis or something like that, we're gonna gargle with salt water. So take a half mug of warm salt water, half mug of warm water, put a teaspoon of salt in it, stir it around so that dissolves, and gargle a few times, and that will help kind of, it'll be like an antiseptic for your throat, really soothing for your throat. The last thing is I want to talk about COVID, still running rampant through the streets like some kind of crazy porn star on acid. So as a preventative measure, 4,000 IUs of D3. I take one of these every day. And the other thing is that because there's no K2 in this, you have to take vitamin K2 with it, because high concentrations of D3 is toxic to like your liver and stuff like that. So make sure you take vitamin K2 with the D3. You can get a D3 infused with K2, but I don't have them. I just have these. It just depends on what's available near you. If you do happen to get COVID, what I would recommend is take 150,000 IUs per day. So you space it out, 50, 50, 50 over the day for 3 days. Make sure you take K2 with it. But if you take that over 3 days, 150,000 IUs over 3 days, it will knock COVID out of your system. So again, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not just mentioning medical advice. Take this at your own risk, or consult your doctor, blah, blah, blah. This is just what I've heard and what I've seen people take to get rid of it, and it has helped, and it's just knocked COVID out. Okay, so that's all I have for today in my cold and flu / COVID season singers preparedness kit. So I hope this helped you guys. If it did help, again, please hit like and subscribe and turn on the notifications so you can see the weekly videos when they come out. Stay tuned. I'll be giving my update to my Alex Terrible growl. Come on, because but I'm not there yet. Once I get it, I'm not there yet. Okay, so see you guys. Thanks very much for watching. Rock your best vocals, where your best keeps getting better.